Okay, so continue next Sif, number 8. Those cakes and bread called ublias, I'm not sure what language it is, maybe Aramaic, that are prepared from a stiff mixture of flour and water, are classed as a proper bread. And one must therefore make over them the blessing Hamotzi and the blessing for after the meal. Okay, of course, Birchas Hamazon. On the other hand, one who over those that are prepared from the soft mixture of flour and water and the very thin are called niblas. One should make the blessing Baremi Mizoinas and a single blessing which corresponds to the 3 blessings for after the meal. So in the second case, well, what is the thin mixture that you would make a pancakes, right? Your dough is the whole butter, right? So it's so liquidy, so you can pour out, you can pour whatever you want from this, right? So on this dough, it's never bread, right? Whatever they make, it's never bread, and you always say "Barem Nemizaynus" in there, even if it was fried on, of course, on a pan. Nevertheless, if one makes a meal out of them, he's required to make over them the blessing of Hamotzi. Okay, so if he eats a lot of pancakes, and pancakes actually they're very heavy, right? They're very heavy. So I'm not sure how many of them. I mean, of course, it depends on the thickness. How many of them you need to eat to make 8 ounces? Okay, but if he's planning to eat so much, he would need to make the hamotzi. If one eats them in the middle of the meal, but not the part of the meal, they require independent blessing before one eats them, but not after one has eaten them. Okay, so of course there are many commentaries, but since the time is almost over, I'm just going to give the brief overview. So now we say that when we have a bread meal, we say some things are covered, some things are not covered with blessing on the bread. So, for example, the best example would be wine. Wine is never covered with the blessing on the bread because it's very important product by itself. So on wine, we would need to make separate blessing. Okay. First, second, for example, fruits, right? Fruits as you eat as a snack, right? I mean, not apologies, not as a snack, as a dessert, like even in the middle of the meal, right? So also you would need to make separate blessing. Cakes, which you eat during the meal or even after the meal. Well, let's say you're full, you're satiated, but you want still something sweet, and you eat this piece of cake. So according to many authorities, you say the blessing Hamotzi, right? And here they say these pancakes. If he eats, so it's not usually it's not regular meal, right? So it's something extra, right? It's like they in a status of dessert. So he said in the middle of the meal, so he wants something sweet. Usually they're sweet, right? So you would need to make separate blessing of mizoines, and after you finish the meal, your birchas hamazon would cover everything. So after you finish the meal, you need to say birchas hamazon, even you ate all the extra things during the meal, which required separate blessings. However, those thin wafers, very thin wafers, okay, on which one puts confection, a secondary to confection, and therefore the blessing one made over the confection discharges the one of obligation to make blessing over them. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Mishneh Berurah would explain it like maybe some pastries, right? When you have the bottom just a very thin part, and this thin part is the only this thin part we only need to keep all of the other things together. So in this case, it's secondary role. So many people, what I would do, I would say the blessing on this this mizonos part anyway. I would break a little piece, say blessing, and then they say blessing on the rest of the cake or the pastries. Okay.